important in creating our success. And sometimes we might need a little bit of clarity on those goals. How do we make it happen? And so I'm very excited to be joined today by Arthur, who is coming to us from where are you coming to us from today?
Thank you, Tiffany. I'm coming to you from Uganda in East Africa, and I'm BNI member, BNI Integrity from Uganda region, Kampala region, yeah.
Exciting. He is a 6-year director consultant, and he's got some other really amazing BNI stats I want to share with you. So he got involved in BNI in 2017, has been a director consultant since 2018. He is a double plus gold club member. So does that mean how many members have you sponsored?
I have sponsored, if I'm not mistaken, 16 so far.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Do you have a goal on how many more you want to sponsor?
Yes, I recently announced that by the end of this term, I will sponsor 6. So that's what I'm working on.
Wow, awesome. Congrats on that. We may have to have you back to talk to us about inviting another day. But before we get to that, we're going to talk goals today. But he's a launch director consultant of a chapter. He's the training director consultant for Uganda and East Africa. He is also an ICF certified transformational coach, a certified IFC-LPI trainer, which is what?
So that's a International Finance Corporation. That's a training arm of the World Bank. So I'm a certified trainer from that end. Yes.
Awesome. And he is a badge holder for LinkedIn's top 5% in data analytics, which is interesting because something that nobody knows about him is he is a self-taught data analyst. What does that mean, a data analyst?
So what that means is that businesses, just like individuals, we collect data on a daily basis. How you turn that data into information that you can base yourself on to make decisions is a skill that must be taught. Naturally, I'm an inquisitive person. So I learned how to get business data and ask questions about that data and come up with powerful insights for driving businesses.
That's awesome and excellent. And if you want to know more about Arthur, I will throw his website up here really quick, taskmanagers.net. I'm sure there's all kinds of information there. Though I know we're here to talk about goals, though it does have a little shout out. Conway says, hello, Arthur. Hello, Conway. All right. So talk to us a little bit about this clarity of goals, knowing what you really want to achieve. Why does that matter?
So why it matters is that, you see, we drive cars. You drive a car and you can't drive a car without fuel. So goals for me is the fuel that drives your life. It's what brings the energy out of you to be able to live the kind of life that you want to live. So why goals are important is because of, why are we here? Why am I working? What should excite me? So I need to really be clear about what it is that I want and how I want to feel, as a matter of fact. So how I feel is largely about what I have achieved. But do I know what I want to achieve? And that's where goals come in. So what do I really want to achieve? What do I want to be? How much money do I want to make? We must be very clear about it so that we can go for it. Yeah.
So what kind of, where in our life should we be using goals?
In everything. So no, I think I was listening to Jim Rohn some time back, and he said that when should you start building the house, and say that you should build the house when it is that the moment you complete the house, that's when you start building it. And it's interesting that when should you start the day? That as soon as the day is done, you don't start tomorrow until tomorrow is done. So in other words, don't wake up tomorrow morning and then you plan how you're going to live tomorrow. So you start by planning how you're going to live to be tomorrow. So what am I going to do tomorrow? How many clients am I going to call? How many meetings should I have? How much money do I want to reach out to go for? how many meetings should I have? How much time should I spend on my phone, on emails, and so on and so forth. So you start your day before as soon as it is complete. I thought that was really very insightful.
I use the Ivy Lee method, which sounds like it's kind of similar. At the end of the day, you come up with your list of what are the 6 things I'm going to do tomorrow to get me closer to my day. So I always find I'm much smarter making my decisions today about tomorrow than I am tomorrow. I don't know why that is. So we're here for BNI talk. So what kind of goals might we want to set for our BNI membership?
So goals for BNI membership. We joined BNI it's always say that we joined BNI to make money. But I always say that, and I like the new slogan. We don't sell memberships. We transform lives. And I think that the first goal as a business person my first goal is that BNI must make me a better business person, and BNI must make me a better person. So before I even make the money, is BNI making me the right person that is ready to receive money? So before we even talk about how much money do I want to make in BNI, in my chapter, in my business, so you have to first be very specific about how much money do I want, and that goal, how much money do I want to make? How does it fit within your personal financial goals? So it's not so much about I have my financial goals outside and I have my BNI goals, financial goals in BNI. All things must fit within each other. So in terms of setting BNI goals, it's about being clear of, so if I want to make $100,000, let's say in this 1 year, then what must I do to earn this money? You know, how many meetings must I have? We always run through this when we are doing trainings, but I can put it in a different way. Let me put in a different way that we hardly hear about. What kind of member must I first become to make this money? And I think that is where the goals should start. Before you set the money, what kind of person are you going to be? Are you a helpful member? Are you a learning member? Are you a giving member? What kind of person must you become before you can earn the money that you are setting your goal towards? I think for me that is where we should start from.
And so what kind of metrics, because you're all about the data, so what kind of metrics do you often use to kind of measure how well you're doing?
So in terms of metrics, you know, what you put in determines how much you get out, right? So in the spirit of givers gain, how much time am I going to put in terms of, so if we say I'm going to go and educate members, I'm going to have one-to-ones to educate members on how much money I potentially could get, or how many referrals I should receive. For instance, let's start from referrals. So I do trainings, and let's say there's someone who does cleaning services or painting services, and you have set your goal to make $50,000 for the first half year. So the first question that we usually ask is, what's the average amount of money that you can potentially get from one referral? And what conversion rate are you working with? You know, so out of how many referrals do you close? One. So if out of 10 referrals you close one, and that one referral is worth $1,000, then you need, yes, you can see.
I'm doing the math in my head. He needs a lot of referrals.
Exactly. So then how many one-to-ones are you going to have? So then the question goes to, am I being realistic with the time that I have set? Because we know that there's no such a thing as an unrealistic goal. All goals are realistic, but there can be unrealistic time frames. So if I have set to earn $50,000 within 6 months, and yet I know that in 10 referrals only one closes and it is $1,000, then the time frame might be wrong. Or maybe I need to now reframe the kind of referrals I want to receive. Maybe now I need referrals which are much bigger, which close, so that the average closing amount per referral maybe is $5,000. Now that makes a little, so now that's where you need education. That's where you need now to mentorship on how can I now go beyond bread and butter kind of referrals to hitting for cream referrals.
Nice.
Yes.
And I'm also thinking, you mentioned the education and training. One of my isms that I like to do, I call them Tiffanies, is the more your network knows, the more your business grows. And so we have to know more about not only how to do this thing, but also the better we teach our network. So I'm thinking this poor guy that's closing 1 out of 10 referrals might need to do some one-to-ones to teach his network how to get better referrals for him too,
Yes.
huh?
Yeah.
So I do want to, we're going to come back into this conversation, but we do have a few folks that are chatting with us on the chat. So it looks like Annie, watching an amazing member of the chapter. And so there's a little bit of chat going on with a few people, though they're having lots of fun chatting in our conversation. Though we did have an interesting conversation, comment from Robert, a goal should be unrealistic. It should be scary enough to keep you motivated to head towards it. Aim for the stars and you'll land on the moon. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, of course, this is really good. And that's why I say that number one is realizing that there is literally nothing that I cannot achieve. It starts from there, that knowing that I'm unstoppable. I have everything within me to achieve anything that I want. So having that awareness, why should I set cheap goals? Stretch yourself as far as you can and go for it. Because you see, I think what I should have mentioned is that before you set goals, you should have a picture of how success looks like. The first time I ever went for a coaching conversation with a coach, he says, how does success look like for you? And when I started, picturing success and drawing it and visualizing it, it started to excite me. So if I know that I can achieve anything, if I know that I can achieve $10 million, wow, I can see myself there. I can have the feeling. We should have had this conversation right where you are, So having that feeling of what it feels like to succeed, then you set the goals that you know you can achieve, not the one you think you are impossible for you to achieve.
Gotcha.
I think that's what Philberg loves to say, that set the goals that you want, not the ones that you know you can achieve. Yeah.
Yeah. And as far as that goes, sometimes, like, I'm a big believer of let me set some big goals. Some people aren't as crazy as I, and so maybe range goals for some of you could be good. Being that, okay, here's the low, maybe what you feel you could get, but here's the high of what you really would want. Though I do love this, Robert, unrealistic, realistic. I back that. Aim for the stars. How do you say Tahari? I'm probably butchering that name.
Peter Tuhire.
Oh,
Tuhire.
Okay.
Yes.
All goals are realistic within a time frame. I'm learning a lot in BNI and building relationships. That's excellent. Yeah. And it looks like Mr. Diamond has said hello.
Roger.
So I do want to really quick, I'm going to turn it back over to you for any additional thoughts. Though you started walking us through If your goal is 50,000, how much is your average client worth? So I do have this YouTube video. Sorry, it's not a pretty link, y'all. But this YouTube video actually goes into the profitability goals that Arthur was walking you through. There is a link to an Excel spreadsheet, which you might enjoy. But so for those of you watching, if you want to kind of figure out your numbers, it's a 4-minute video that walks you through how to get it and the spreadsheet that goes along with it. So Arthur, what else do you want to share with us that we need to take into consideration in this clarity of goals as we begin to wrap up-ish?
Thank you so much, Tiffanie. I like the conversation. I just want to build on to what Robert said in terms of unrealistic, realistic. I thought that was that was something interesting. I think, and I want to match what Robert has said and what you said about sometimes you set goals and then people are like, like why are you talking about? What? So you see, if I have never achieved an unrealistic goal, when I see someone setting it, I'll be like, it's not possible. You can't do that. So, and what I can relate to that is if I have never touched or earned an amount of money or even imagined an amount of money, I will always think that the highest amount of money that can be made is the highest I have ever hit, which is wrong. So if you want to achieve beyond what you have never achieved, you must think beyond your current limitations. Go for it, because the higher you stretch yourself, I beg your pardon, the higher you stretch yourself, the normal it becomes for you to achieve that goal. So the goal should be the goal that you want, not the one that you think you can achieve. I think that's what I can elaborate on that.
Well, I think that one of the things I love about BNI is that we have an amazing community of folks. And it's not just your chapter. It's not just your region. We have a worldwide organization now with, I think I just saw $2.4 billion was passed last month, just amongst the BNI members. So it's amazing what can be done. And so if you have a goal that you haven't been able to get to before, there's probably somebody in the organization that has.
Yes.
Robert has some more for us. He shares the unrealistic attribute helps us find purpose by challenging us to take risks, strive for success, and learn from our mistakes.
I think Robert should become a BNI member.
Oh, is Robert not in BNI? Awesome. So do me a favor, tell people if they're looking to connect with you, to learn more about you and what you do, where can they go to do that?
So taskmanagers.net, that's our website, but also Arthur Ronnie on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Just typing in Arthur Ronnie, you'll be able to catch me. We can catch up. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or the website. You should be able to catch up. All my contacts are there. We can have these kinds of conversations around numbers. What do I want to achieve? How can I achieve it? How do I know whether I am successful with my goals? So all things data, all things analytics, visualizations, goal setting. Let's have that conversations on all of those channels that I have shared.
Awesome. Any last thoughts that you want to leave our viewing audience with when it comes to clarity of goals?
Parting shots, there's nothing you cannot achieve. I believe that. Number two, if you want to work at the highest level of motivation, highest level of energy, enthusiasm, set goals. Visualize them, see yourself having achieved them, go for them. Every single day of your life, you will just find yourself running and running and running, and we will party.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so very much. Roger is giving a shout out for the WWDC. This is how you and I
Yes.
connected, the Worldwide Director Consultants. We have people from all around the globe. So if you're a director consultant in BNI, reach out to either of us and we'd love to invite you. Does this count as a CEU? I don't know.
No. No.
That he says no, so no, it doesn't. Though sometimes these end up on BNI Business Builder, so you never know what may be there. Though, do check us out on BNI Business Builder. Conway says thank you. I say thank you so very much for your time today to be able to share with us this brief conversation. I mean, gosh, we barely scratched the surface, and there's so much we can learn from data. And what it tells us, and it helps us to hit our goals. So make sure you reach out. I want to say thank you so very much for being here with me today to share this with our BNI members.
Thank you, Tiffanie. It was great having this chat with you.
Happy networking, everybody.